Where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. God has given us unlimited treasures in His Word. Every time we open it, we can discover a new treasure or admire an old one. What will we find today? Here's Carla Early with Treasure Hunt in the Word.
When I was young, after a most likely well-deserved lecture, my mom usually added, "Do you hear me, Carla Lynn?" I always had to resist the urge to sarcastically say, "Of course I hear you, you're right there in front of me." But of course, I understood what she meant. She was really asking, did what I just say get through to you? Do you plan to implement it? Often, Jesus ended his teachings in a similar way. He'd say, "He who has ears to hear, let him hear." He wasn't excluding deaf people. He was saying, now that you've heard this truth, it's up to you to apply it to your life. So who had ears back in Jesus' day? In Luke 14:35, when Jesus taught the multitudes, he ended with, "He who has ears to hear, let him hear." And then the next verse, Luke 15:1 says, "Then all the tax collectors and sinners drew near to him to hear him." By their action, they showed their hearts were teachable, longing to hear more, to be with Jesus and learn from him. They had ears to hear and accepted Jesus' invitation to hear more. Look who didn't have ears to hear. The next verse says, "And the Pharisees and scribes complained, saying, 'This man receives sinners and eats with them.'" In one sentence, these Pharisees and scribes proved they didn't have ears to hear, but they certainly had mouths to complain. I've heard it said that God gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth, so we would listen twice as much as we speak. But it doesn't always work that way, does it? The people who hunger and thirst for the Lord and His truth draw near to listen. And people who don't tend to criticize and complain. So it's pretty easy to tell them apart. This story reminds me of some church members seeing a lot of children and teens coming to church because of a new bus ministry, complaining about how noisy and messy they were. But then you see that quiet few who, instead of complaining, intentionally sit among the children and teens, loving on them, ministering to them instead. I'm sure you could think of plenty of contemporary examples of people who have ears to hear and others who have mouths to complain. The question is, which one are you? Do you draw close, yearning to learn more, or do you tend to find something to complain about? It's pretty easy to find something to complain about, but that's not how we should respond, is it? Honestly, I've found myself in both camps. I need to consciously, intentionally use my ears instead of my mouth to draw closer to the Lord instead of finding fault. Do you have ears to hear?
You can contact us at treasurehuntintheword@gmail.com. We'd love to hear the treasures God has given you through His Word. You can listen to other episodes on our website, which you can find in the description below. Thank you for listening, and remember, where your treasure is, there will your heart be also.